Good morning. Good morning. Yes, I know, baby. We gotta get up. We got to get up. Oh, me. But you make us some coffee, baby. This is a Arizona barrel cactus. There's some, I think, in New Mexico as well. But these fruits, I've never had them before. And since apparently I eat cactus now, you saw in that other video with the prickly pear, I'm gonna give these a whirl. Now they look kind of similar, at least in shape, to prickly pear fruit, but prickly pear pears, they grow on the prickly pear cactus. The fruit are full of horrid, ridiculously savage little stingers, and these are not. I think you can just pick these right off the, or cut them rather, right off of the cactus. No idea what they taste like, really no idea how to cook them or eat them, so I'm gonna cut a few off, try them raw, because I looked it up. They look perfectly ripe now, and yeah, go from there. So let's get a few of these little suckers off the cactus without killing ourselves. As always, this is my trimmer knives, custom, AWP, Kurt Trimmer, excellent knife maker as always. Be sure to check them out. I made Kurt's portraits with old Winston, that Corona 8x10, I think last year, so check that video out as well. Let's see. This one looks pretty good. Oh, wait. Well, would you look at that? There's the seeds. These are filled with little black seeds. Huh. They smell just like a banana pepper, or maybe an Anaheim pepper. All right. I was thinking they were going to be sweet or something. Doesn't get easier than that. Let's take 4. Huh. Ah, hold on. There we go. What do you hear, baby? There's your cousins. The coyotes have decided to absolutely join into chorus here as the sun's going down. Leia is actually you handling it pretty well, aren't you? Aren't you? Yeah. Here are our barrel cactus fruit, full of these little black seeds. Now I've heard these seeds are really good toasted. They look about like black sesame seeds. So I'm going to save them, bag them up, maybe try that. or spill them everywhere. So let's cut one of these open and try it raw. Let's take our little pineapple top off here. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Huh. Wow. Oh, the baby. Oh no. Baby, back up. Hey, watch out. I have no idea if it's good for dogs. But yeah, they're very interesting. Cross between a pepper, a pumpkin, an egg. I don't know. Again, got that cactus slime, like ochre slime. Smells like a cross between a cucumber, like I said, maybe an Anaheim pepper, a banana pepper, a really mild pepper. About the same kind of texture. Tastes exactly like a green tomato. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm gonna go absolutely ham on these things probably tomorrow. Maybe saute them up. I really don't have a lot of stuff to go with them. Yeah. To be continued with the barrel cactus fruit. While we anxiously await our morning brew there. What are you doing, baby? I want to take a minute and talk about Bruce's bungalow configuration here. Essentially just the tarp on the rear of the vehicle here, held up by these tarp poles. And what you're witnessing here is Bruce's original dirtbag camp setup, at least long-term camp setup, and especially desert camp setup. Believe it or not, this tarp, this is a Hennessy hex fly. I've had it for years, probably nearly 10 years. It was my original hammock tarp, all-purpose tarp. It's not necessarily ideal. Leia, honey, are you hung around this scrub? Hang on just a minute, folks. Huzzah. Now you're liberated, baby. Okay, come on. Go this way. Don't knock it down. Breakfast time. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah. This tarp is not necessarily ideal for this setup. I had an old Chinook that was a rectangular tarp, and that worked really well, but unfortunately that nearly has bitten the dust. Of course, hex fly, this is a hexagonal tarp, and as such the shape doesn't allow it to actually fit snugly around here like a square, or let's say rectangular tarp would. So you have this little overhang. The flapping drives me crazy. That's why I have this tied off here, and it's not quite as bad over there, so I just live with it. Each guy line that runs over the back of the 4Runner attaches at the rear wheels. Another attachment point here, stake down, pole stake down over there, the exact same thing over here. So this setup actually has 6 points of attachment. It's extremely solid, loops up over the hatch, gives you this complete coverage. You essentially have shade at all times during the day, gives you some wind protection, gives you some rain protection from the side. That's why I've never really understood the huge deal with these awnings that go straight out on vehicles. You see people pay a lot of money for them, which is fine, but it only goes out vertically. Essentially, you only have shade, a direct shade, a few hours of the day. You have to keep moving around underneath. You know, you don't have any kind of rain protection unless you have a drop tarp on the side. So yeah, I implore you, get yourself a you know, tarp. They're extremely cheap these days. Get a couple of good cheap tarp poles like this, a few groundhog stakes, and yeah, even the guy lines came on this tarp. It's ready to go, and you have an instant made awning that is 10 times better, in my opinion, than any super high priced awning that you might find well, anywhere. Oh, I think the coffee's ready. Oh yeah, it's a charmed life, folks. Oh yeah, it brings you back to life. Oh, and the interesting reason that I even have Bruce in, oh, stretch it out, baby, in bungalow mode here, is because I hadn't actually planned on pitching up the hive. The hive is extremely easy to put up. It takes literally a minute once it's out of the bag, but it's just a pain to get it up and down off the top of Bruce. And I only thought I was going to be here outside of lovely Superior, Arizona for a night, but we got here, and yeah, Superior by name, Superior by nature. We absolutely loved it. So last night was our second night here. May even stay tomorrow night, I don't know. All that to say, I set up the tarp just to have a little bit more shelter from the sun and the wind. So yeah, I just left it up, even though I have the hive going. The order of the day is to get Veronica out, that's the Epson V700 scanner, and scan the film that we developed back in Las Cruces. I've got some 8x10, some 120, and see how that went. And speaking of that, I just loaded up 4 fresh holders of 8x10 radiographic film last night. I'm trying a new film. It's a Fuji HRU. It's still a green sensitive 8x10 radiographic film. So here a little later, maybe a little bit later in the day, I'm going to head out with Winston and see if we can't lay down a few photos in this absolutely incredible landscape. Then after that, I'm gonna cook up those barrel cactus fruits somehow. It's difficult to explain, but you can just always tell when it's gonna be an amazing day. Famous last words. What are you doing? Now, about those barrel cactus fruit, I have conferred with Leia, and what we have devised is essentially a breakfast for supper scenario. I'm going to cut these up. I've decided to go completely psychotic, leave the seeds in, cook everything at once, dice up some pre-cooked bacon, throw in some butter, everything in a pot. At the very end, throw in 3 eggs, make like a scrambled egg kind of thing. Turn those into some breakfast burritos, maybe with some yum yum sauce, maybe with some roasted chili and oil. I don't know. We're flying by the seat of our pants here, guys. So, yeah, time's wasting. Ain't that right? Yeah. So there's our barrel cactus fruit, looking like some sort of demented kiwi. So in goes our bacon. Let that get happy for just a minute. Pitch in a liberal pinch of butter. And now goes our magical barrel cactus fruits. Get those seeds to work for them. Turn the heat back up a little bit. Let those bad boys sweat. Maybe not that much. Yeah, that's much better. A mild change of plans. I've decided to completely forego the eggs. After looking at this, I think I'm going to make kind of like an Arizona French onion soup. Why not? You know, we've got the cactus fruit cooking down, and you have that little bit of a slime factor. If you can make out that or not. Yeah. So what we're going to do, hit it with a little bit of good old Evan Williams, kind of deglaze it. I think that alcohol is going to help cut out that slime, season it up a little bit, add a little bit of water to it, let it cook down, and then maybe toast up some bread. And like I said, I don't know. So in goes our bourbon. Now one for the doctor.
I don't know where I felt like I get a little drink around here, do you, bud?
So that alcohol is essentially cooked off. I'm going to season it up with some good old famous Dave's steak seasoning. You know. And then top it off some water. Just let it stew for a minute. Actually doesn't look too bad. Now if I'd had some heavy cream, folks, I would use heavy cream. That is our barrel cactus fruit stew soup with bacon, butter, a little bit of Evan Williams bourbon, nice Havarti makeshift cheese quesadilla. All right, let's give her the old proof test here. Hey. Slime factor definitely gone. Be sure to get some of that bacon. I'm not just saying that. That is superb. Maybe a little heavy on the salt. Man, yeah. I know. Break off a little bit of love with this quesadilla. So going from what was essentially scrambled eggs. To a quasi-French style barrel cactus cream soup with bacon. Unexpectedly good. If I knew this was going to be here, might have brought some fresh stuff out here. This would be ridiculous with some steak, some type of fajita, a party going on. So yeah, it looks like I'm going to be adding another type of cactus to the menu. Ain't that right? All right. Well, so long. Incredibly cool spot that I don't exactly know where we were. Onward to California. Headed into the Superstition Mountains. Apparently these are a lot better than the Stitions.
Take the next right, then turn right.
Making a slight detour. Hello, old friend. Leia, you're in for a treat.
Your destination is on the left.
So am I, for that matter.
Yeah, I got it remote.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, good. How you doing? Double, animal style. Fries, animal style, medium rare, please. Man, that was probably the most busy In-N-Out burger I've ever seen in my life. But it's gonna be worth it. Getting off the exit here at Chirrico Summit, California. Our place we're going to stay tonight, I'm not exactly certain where though, because there's actually a free, what they call a dry camp, just more or less a place to stay the night. It's technically a campground around here somewhere. This is actually the General Patton Museum, believe it or not. It's where they used to do desert training during World War II. And there's some BLM land back behind it, but we're going to check out the little established dry camp here because we're going to be fancy. Let's see. Oh, this is really a little map dot. Apparently this is the dry camp. Let's shoot down there and see what's up. They said to drive past the tanks, and I actually see the tanks. I've got a feeling we're going to stay here literally just for this, so I can poke around these tanks. But I want to drive down to the end of the road just to See what the BLM land's like down here. I see why they trained desert warfare here. This is the location of Camp Young, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. There's the camp. Looks pretty good, not too many people there. What you think, baby? These are the other little areas. A couple of schoolies over there. Well, there's private land on either side. Check out this last little spot here. Like I said, we'll probably go back to the place with the tanks. Huh. Very nice little place. Of course, it's started to rain on us now. Maybe it'll be less dust, but hopefully it's not going to turn extremely muddy either. Yeah, if we're going to be staying here more than one night, probably check out these little areas down here. You can tell this is kind of an established destination, but I think we're just going to go up to the gas station, get some ice, maybe a few libations, and then get us a spot over here at the little dry camp. Isn't that right? All right. Yeah, this place is like its own little ecosystem. Got the gas station, some little food mart, antique shop, coffee shop, everything. And it is bumping. But then again, I guess there's really nothing else around. Oof. Gas over $5 a gallon too. Pretty sweet little setup here, not gonna lie. Kinda wish the weather was more auspicious. Alright, let's find a site. I believe this is going to be our boy. Yep. Like I said, a pretty cool little setup. I really appreciate these people doing this. Check out that museum probably tomorrow when we leave, but well, hi folks, it's freezing out here. Well, just got everything set up here. Not before I minted myself a crisp old-fashioned. Not a moment too soon, really, because it is starting to rain here at camp. And so Leia and I are probably just going to crawl inside for the night. She's already ready to go to bed. But yeah, I just want to show you the setup. If you see those mountains over there, that is Joshua Tree National Park. So yeah, we're right here at the edge, which is where we like to be. So yeah, we're getting a little damp, so we're going to shut it down and we'll pick up inside because I've got a few things to tell you about the coming events over the next few days. The wind is quite literally rocking the car. So yeah, we're going to be inside for the rest of the night. I would turn on the other light, but as you can see, Leia is in full-on snooze mode, so I'm trying not to bother her. But yeah, we're headed out to Santa Cruz officially. I've got a little tiny Airbnb rented from, I don't know, I've got it rented for a few days this coming week. A word of advice, folks. If you happen to have the luxury of being a human snail, you know, living in your vehicle like this, and you can wait to get some of these last-minute deals, you can get some absolutely incredible deals on Airbnbs, but beside the point. So we'll be out in Santa Cruz, which is about an hour away from where I did on the left, and that was one of the big things. I wanted to go back and revisit some of those places, so we'll be staying in Santa Cruz, going up towards Pescadero, Pomponio, San Gregorio. I'm gonna take Winston out there, the big 8x10, kind of slum around for a while, revisit some of the old places. I wish I had a copy of On the Left with me. I didn't bring one with me to kind of, you know, juxtapose. Oh well. But yeah, I'm gonna stay up there for at least 3 or 4 days. Who knows exactly how long, but we will, after that, start making our way back east in time for the holidays. Stay there for a little while. I've got some heavy duty major upgrades coming for Bruce, and a friend of mine is good enough that's already been shipped. He's got them back home, so when I go home over the Christmas holidays, I'm going to be installing those on Bruce. So yeah, get ready for that. If we weren't in a semi-rush to get back out there to the coast, we'd definitely hang around here for a few days. I talked to the camp host, and like I said, we're right on the doorstep of Joshua Tree. He told me about this way to get more or less, well, I won't say that. He told me about this trail that will take me into the mountains here. And just from camp here, I would love to stay a few days, wait for just the perfect light, and then get some 8x10s of the mountains. But we're not going to do that. Interesting little note. You saw when we drove in here, this is the George S. Patton Memorial Museum back here. They said the tanks are all back through here. It's private property, so I'm not going to try to go back there at all. But yeah, I just thought this was crazy because this area, if you can picture them training with the tanks for World War II to fight Rommel in the desert fox, this area looks like the deserts of northern Africa, if you want to picture the terrain. So tomorrow we're going to get up, take your time, no big rush, and I found one of the few places that you can still essentially boondock, roadside park. That's a little bit east of Big Sur and Highway 1. It's about 3 hours from Santa Cruz. So we're going to go there, take our time, spend the night, get up really early, Tuesday morning, head all the way up, and see if we can't make a day of it before we actually check in to our little place we got rented there. Look at me. I'm rambling again. We'll see you tomorrow. One of the greatest photographers' hotspots of all time. Mother of God. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of dead in there.